Hi guys, today in this tutorial we will create this awesome project, and you can see that we have basically 4 neighbors, and this is our home page, and this is our service page. We have some cars, and we are not going to copy and paste all the cars code again and again, but we would use pure React.js as we have seen by using array maps and simple arrays just to represent that data. And you can see that at the time being any neighbor which is active is showing different from others. So this is our about page, and here we have form, and at the backend of this form we don't have basically any database. That's why I have created that form, and I am just going to show its data at alert. So I'm just going to paste all that code, and here I'm just writing any random value. So you can see that whenever we submit that form, all the data is showing here at the alert. So this is all about that we have to design today. So you can see that it is also fully responsive. Let me show you. You can see this is our home page, and this is basically logo. This is just a random logo. Here is service page. You can see that all these codes are fully responsive, and here we have contact form. This is basically our contact page, and you can see that everything is basically fully responsive. So without wasting any time, let's get started and move to our VS Code. And I will try to cover almost all the main topics that we have studied in our React.js course till our today's tutorial. So you can see that we have created our React application project, and I have also pasted some images here, and the rest of the code is same. So I am going to start everything from scratch so that you might come to know clearly. And I am also going to remove it. I am just going to press here RAFC and enter. And I have already told you that what was the extension index component, and this is our app component. Now the very first thing that you have to do is install React router, and the second thing we have to do before we start our project is we have to install the setup of React Bootstrap. Here I am just going to type npm install React router DOM. React router DOM and press enter, and you can see that now it is going to install in our system. Let me check here, React DOM version and React version, and here it will also show the React router version. Just wait for the moment. And now you can see that here it is showing the option React router DOM, and its version at the time being is 6.24.1, and now it is successfully installed. The second thing we have to do is to install our React Bootstrap, because with the help of this extension we are able to write code snippet, export default app. Here I have to type React Bootstrap, And this is the website that you have to open, React Bootstrap.netlify, and press on get started. And now you have to install it in your system. npm install React Bootstrap, Control V. Here I have to type Control V and press enter. Now React Bootstrap is also going to install. This is the browser global that I have already told you, and this is basically the link. From this link we have to import our React Bootstrap. Let me copy that part, Control C, and now we have to move in our index.js folder, and inside index.js folder we have to import that component, import, and here I have to give colon and comma here. Again I have to give comma because we are going to move in our node modules. And now press forward slash, again forward slash, and here you have to move in Bootstrap and press Ctrl V that we had the path. I have written it 2 times, Ctrl S, and let me minimize this code first, and again I gonna open that code. And let me move in our dependencies, package.json, to check if our React Bootstrap and React Router DOM are installed or not. And here you can see that React Bootstrap version is 5.3.3 at the time being, and this is basically the React Bootstrap. This is simple Bootstrap, so we only need React Bootstrap. This is the version that we have installed, and this is React Router DOM. Now we have to start our project. Just press npm start. It is going to start now. Press Ctrl J to minimize that terminal. Now let me check what is the output basically. Here I am just going to return app. App is nothing but just a single word, and we should have to render single word here. Before we start our website, the very first step that we have to do is we have to create some components just for navbars, and after navbar we would have to write code in all navbar components. Navbar components are nothing but just our React components, and we would use these components here inside app component by using React Router DOM, which is nothing but just for the single page website. And now here you can see that it is showing here app that we have written in our app component. So the very first step that we have to do is to work on React router, because of just we want to show it this website in as a single page website. So I'm going to create some components first. uh, Service .jsx, and another component contact .jsx, and I'm going to create another component as well. About .jsx. These are three components basically. And what about our home component? That what we have to show in our home component. Let me create another component which is basically our home component .jsx, and this is going to be our first component. And contact about service, this is our third component, and this is our fourth component as well. Here I am going to write RAFC, and I am going to use here export default home Control S, Control C, and we have to also write in our service Control V. This is our service component, service Control S, and we have to write in our about component as well. Here I have to type about Control S. I have to also remove here export, and in our contact I have to also write, and here I am going to remove that export word, and at the bottom I am going to use that word contact Control S. And let me move in our app.js, and here the very first thing that we have to do is just import browser router. Not basically here in our app component we will use routes and root, and in our index.jsx we are going to use browser router. Import browser router from React router DOM, and here I am going to use browser router as well. Browser router, Control V, and press Control S, and inside our app.js I have to import root and roots as well. Import roots and also root, and here I am going to use these roots basically. Here I have to type roots, and inside these roots we have to use root, and here I am going to give here the path. I am going to make / component. I am going to move the component as to home, and here I am just going to use another root path, and inside this path I am just going to make here service. I am just going to take all variables, all letters in small letters basically. Component service, we have to remove that semicolon because here the semicolons are not used. There is an error here. Let me see the error. I have to also close these roots and this second root as well, and here I am going to take another root path, about all the small letters. About, I am going to use here all small letters because user would not like to type words in capital letter, first capital letter. He would always try and recommend to use all the small letters to move in another page. So I am going to use here about, and the last component that we have to use root path, and this path is contact component, and I am going to close that path, Control S, and let me move in our home is not defined. Basically we have not imported here all these components. Import home, and about I have imported. Now the remaining components I have to also import home, and here I am going to import service, and about is imported, and the last component that I have to import is contact. Control S, and here you can see that at the time being I am just in my home component, and whenever I click here contact, I will move in contact component, and service as well, I have moved in service. Now this was all about React router, and now I am going to use a navbar, and where I have to use navbar basically, I am going to use the navbar in our home component, and I will remove all the code from here. So to install navbar, I am just going to move in our React Bootstrap, and here inside components I am going to take navbar option here, and I am going to take any navbar. Let me check what the navbar should I use. So I am going to use this navbar. Copy that navbar and now paste it inside our home component. Not to use in our home component, but I am going to take a separate component which is named as navbar, because we have to use all the components and their names. Navbar.jsx control V, and here I have to import React as well. React from React, and here I am going to change that name. Control D, just type here navbar, Control S, and here inside home component I am going to import that navbar. And here I have to use that navbar. The very first thing that we have to do is just greeting system. So I am going to use here greeting system as well. There are basically 2-3 ways we can use. So the very first and old method is class name, and here I am going to type container fluid. And the second step we can do is just type the name here container, and inside this container we can use container as well. So I am going to use here navbar, and basically I don't need to use this navbar inside that container, because this navbar is automatically containing a container fluid. Let me show you. Here you can see that it is containing a container as fluid, so we don't need to write that navbar inside this container further, because it would further move. Let me show you that what would happen basically. Control S, I'm just going to move in our home page, and now you can see that from that corner to that corner we have some space as well. This is just because of we are using double container here. Control X and paste it at the outside. One step more that I can do, instead of using navbar at home, I'm just going to use a navbar at app component, and I am going to tell you that what is the reason that we can use navbar in our app component. Control S, and here I am going to paste all that code, and here I am going to use that nav. Basically, I wanted to display navbar in every page, in every React component. It doesn't matter, that component can be home, our service page, and about page, contact page as well. So that's why I have used that navbar at the outside, because it would not affect to pages and it would be displayed automatically on the top of every page. Control S, and let me show you the output. Whenever I move to any page, it will not basically disturb contact, and you can see that here the contact page is opened, but here the navbar is still showing here, and you can see that no, there is no space between these corners of that navbar. Let me show you what project we are basically to design. We are basically designing like this page. So let me first modify our navbar. Let me show you our navbar. This is how our navbar is looking like. So we have to change all the things according to that navbar. Navbar 1, 2, and here we have drop down. I am going to delete that drop down. And I am going to copy these things, Control C, and going to paste it. And the first is home, second is service, and the third one is about, and the fourth one is contact. Control S, and let me show you how is it looking like. It is looking like that now. So we don't need this search bar and button as well. This is the form. We are going to delete that form. Control S. Then now you can see that we have removed the search bar and button as well. So the step we have to do is these navbars, we should have to make these navbars at the right side. So how can we do? Here margin left, margin right auto, Control S, and it is not going to make left and right margin. Control S, and here I can write that margin left, margin left I'm just going to write here 70%. Let me show you how is it looking like. And now you can see that it came on the right side successfully. And what we can do that we would move from one page to another. Here we have to type navlink, Control D, just press navlink, and we have to do another thing that instead of href we have to type here 2. I'm going to type here 2, Control S, and let me show you if our page went to single page or not. We have to type here the basically link, home. Let me check in our app.js home folder, and here I am going to type, it should be same as we have, Control C, and here I am going to paste that path, Control V, and here it doesn't matter, we can write only the slash, which is known as forward slash, and at the about I am going to copy that path and paste it in our navlink, Control V, and the last we have to do is just copy it, Control C, and paste it in navbar as well, Control V, and now you can see that its output is like this. We have basically navbar and we have navlinks, and you can see that these navlinks are containing with each other, so they don't have any space right now, but currently they are working correctly, and you can see that the page is not loading. So now we have to style basically these links. So I am going to import here, import index.css. I am going to import index.css file here. Control S, and now you can see that it is looking like that. We have just done this CSS. Let me show you. This is basically the CSS for navbars that I have written, and this is the navbar, and here I am going to use class, and the very first thing that I have imported that index.css as well. So this is the output, and whenever you click on any navbar, it will be redirected to that page without any loading. So the next step that we have to do is, let me see in my project, I am just going to take a navbar, a logo here. Instead of navbar scroll, I am going just to take here a logo, import logo from im images slash logo controllers, and let me use this logo here. Controllers, and it is not showing here that name. Let me check. Basically I have to use here curly braces because this is now the path of JS. Controllers, nav is not defined. Oh, I don't have to write here nav, but just have to write here logo. Controllers, and this image is too huge, so I have to set this image now. Here I am going to make a style, and here I am just writing width as 50 pixel and height is also as 50 pixel. Controllers, and let me show you how is it looking like. And what for responsiveness, and you can see that now it is looking awesome. And we can also increase that height of navbar in case of small devices. I'm just going to write here max width as 150. Controllers, and now you can see that we have more length, more height of navbar, and this logo is looking awesome for all type of devices. So what we have to do now, we have completed our navbar section, and now we have to move in our that section. In this section we have basically two elements, two parts. One part, and this is second part. This is the image, and this is our text. Here in home I am going to take container, and I am going to close it, and here I am writing fluid because container is fluid here, and here I am going to write row. You can also write like simple column design, column, and here I can write any column. Like I want this column as 10 columns, so I can write here 10 md is equal to, and here I can write 10. No, this will occupy 10 columns, but let me make an old section though, so that you may come to know clearly. I'm just taking as div, and inside this div I'm just writing class name, and inside class name this is row, and no, I'm taking another div. This div is nothing but just class name as column. For medium device, I am just taking 10 columns, and MX auto. MX auto means no, this column will be automatically at center. Control S, and let me make here border so that you may to know that what is the basically region of this column. Now you can see that this column is at center, and one column is remaining here, and the one column is remaining here, and this is at the center, as we have occupied only 10 columns out of 12 columns. So what we have to do basically, we have to use that text, grow your business with engineer sample, and we are software engineers. This is just a dummy sentence. I am going to take here further a row. I have created a complete tutorial on Bootstrap as well. So this is basically the greeting system of Bootstrap, and here I have to write row, and inside this row I have to take 2 columns, class name, column for medium device 6, and Control C. I am going to take 2 columns of width 6, and for other devices it would occupy 12, and it would also occupy 12. I can write here as order 1, and here I can write order 2. This order is nothing but just that what section would occupy the first part and the second part. We can also write order for medium device 2 and for medium device 1 as well. We can change the order that what section would come before in what type of device as well. So here we have to take some sentence. I'm just going to take H5, and here going to write grow your business with, and here I'm going to take strong, engineer sample, Control S, and now you can see that it is looking like that, but how we need it to be. Now what we have to do, we have to write engineer sample. We are software engineers. Here I am going to type H4 tag. We are software engineers, Control S, and let me show you how our code is looking like. So we have to add a button as well. Here I have to move in buttons, Where are the buttons? These are buttons, and here I have to use that primary button. Control C, and after that code I am going to use that button, and I have to also import that button as well. Control C, and here I am going to import that button. Here I am just going to write, let me check what was the written here. Contact us, Control S, and let me show you how our project is looking like. This is looking like that. So no, I gonna remove that border first. Let me check if there is anything that I can change. I can just copy that code, Control X, and I'm going to paste it at that thing. So I have pasted it at the div of row. So I don't need to write here border. I have to write margin top. Margin top as 50 pixel. Control S, and let me show you how is it looking like. So it came here but not at center. I have to write one more thing, that text align center. Control S, and now you can see that this text is aligned at center. I am going to use here a break. Control S, and at the other side I have to use an image. Let me check what was the image basically. Let me check the images. PNG transparent image. I have to move in images, and inside images I have to move PNG transparent image, and I have to make closing tag, and at the other section I have to import I have to use that image is equal to imgg, and here I am going to close that as self closing tag. Control S, and now this image is huge. So here I have to type class name image float, and here I have to give the style as well. Width of 50 pixel. Let let me make another arrow here, curly brace here, because this is just looking, our React is just considering it as a single object. That's why we need two curly braces here. Not 100%, it would increase. Let me show you. Now you can see that this size is huge, and for let me show you in case of responsiveness. No, what we have to do, no, you can see that we have this height. This is our minimum height, so we need this text at almost this place. You can see here. So how can we do that? Let me make the height here, style, and inside this style I have to write margin top, as 100 pixel, Control S, and now you can see that it came here at the bottom successfully. So this is, let me show you for the responsiveness, and now you can see that it is responsive, and I can have some space here. I'm just going to type here margin top as 50 pixel, Control S, and now whenever we see for the responsiveness in mobile, so this is basically the responsiveness in mobile application, in mobile devices, and now you can see that it is fully responsive as well. So we have done our home section, and now we have to write for about. About should be also same as we have home, so I'm just copying that home and making some changes. Control A and Control C. I am going to paste it in about. Where is about? This one is about. Control A, and here I am going to paste all that code. So here instead of home I have to write about, and let me save it, Control S, and let me save the home page as well, Control S, and now you can see that home and about are two same pages, so I have to make some different. In our about page I am going to write here, you can write anything, I am just writing here call us, Control S, and here I'm going to make some random value, grow your business. I'm just writing this is about page, just to show you that how we can do that. Control S. I'm basically trying to cover everything that we have studied till our today's tutorial, and now you can see that In about we have that page, and in home page, about page, home page, these are two different pages. No, I also want this image to be changed for about page. So I hope you are making interesting. Here I am just going to write any other image. I have deleted here columns, images, and inside images I am going to take the first image. I don't know what the image is basically. This is the image of fish. So for a home page we have that design, and for about page we have this type of design. So you can see that the structure is basically same, that things only different are image and text as well. So how can we make these images, these components different, but we don't need to use these components as twice. So we have to write these components as one at once and use them at multiple time, as many times as we want. So here I am just going to take a React component and its name is common page .jsx, and here I am going to copy all that code. Control X, and I am going to paste the code here. RAFC, I am just going to export that page as well. Export default common page, and inside that common page I have to write all the code just for the complete section. Control V and Control S. Let me make some changes here. About page, this one is about page, so here I have to write button because I have imported that button as well. Control X, and after that React, I am just going to import the button from React. Container, I need that container here. Control S, and here I will use container that component later. So for the time being, let me create some changes. And this is the image that we have used here. And here I am going to import that component as well. Common page, Control S. Basically I wanted to use that common page in both of them, and I am just going to change the values by using props as well. Here I have to pass the props, and I will pass it later. I am just going to write here. The very first thing that we have to do is import common page from common page, and here I am going to use that component, and here I am going self closing tag, and inside that I have to write title is equal to, and here I have to write that title, Control X, and here I am going to paste that title, Control V, and strong as well is equal to, this is my name here basically, Control X, and here I am going to use my name, Control V, and the further step that we have to do is, now you can see that this is same, this thing is same we have in both sections, so I am going to write this as it is. I can have it same as well, so I am going to type here button name is equal to, and this button name Control X, and here I gonna paste it, Control V. Now you can see that all the code we have almost done here, so I'm going to write that as well so that you may not be confused as much. Name is equal to Control V, and let me remove all the code because we don't need this code now. We have passed these values as props, Control S, and let me move in our common page and home page. Basically in home page we have to use that common page as well. Common page, and here I gonna use that common page. I don't need that. I am just going to make self-closing tag, and here I am just going to type image source as well. I need image source that we have imported here, img sourc is equal to, I have to write curly braces because we are using JS parts here, Control S, and let me also make it Control C in our home page, Control V, so here I am just going to use this, not this is about page, but we have to use I have written here, grow your business with Control X, and here I gonna paste it, don't write okay, Control V, and again I have here image source and string name I think are same, and we are software engineers, and instead of that call us we have to write contact us, Control X, and here I gonna paste it, Control V. Now almost all the changes we have done. Now we have to pass here props, and here we have to use curly braces, and here we have to use props dot let me check what was the code is. Props dot title, props dot title here, and I can also have here props dot name. I think this is same. Yes, name, not name but string we have to use here. Str controllers, and one thing that we have to use here, I have to also use here props as well. Props dot I can use name, and at that button I have to use another props dot let me check what was the name. Basically button name btnname, button name. I think this is, yeah, this is same. Control S, and low image is not defined. Here you can see everything is showing, but at home it is not showing anything. Let me check what is the problem at home page. Import from common page as well, this is same. So what is the problem here? We have done about where is service? This one, not service, but we have done about page and home page. So what was the problem here? Image as well, name, and we should have these values same as well. Let me save it and check it again. IMGG common page. Let me move in our common page and check where is IMGG I have used. Here I have used IMGG, and this is source basically dot im. Let me check what was the image. Basically imgg, no, imgsourc, I have to use that. Control C, and here I am going to paste it. Control V and Control S. Image is not defined. No, you can see that everything is came successfully. At about page, at home page we have everything, and at about page we have everything. You can see that we have basically not copied and pasted code again and again, but we have made one code and made it usable. We can have its reusability as well. So this is home and this is about page. These two pages we have done. Now we have remaining service page and contact page. So let me check what was inside service page. Inside service page we had basically some code. You can see we have some codes here, and now I have to take some codes. Basically this would also be same, that we would take one code and we would not copy and paste this code again and again, but we would use it as reusable by using map arrow function. This will be easy. This image was also not showing. I think there was something went wrong with these images. So I don't care about this thing. Basically this page was not used by localhost now. No, you can see we have created 2 pages and we are left with 2 pages. And one thing that you notice that whenever we click on any button in our that project, it is not loading now. And you have seen that these elements were basically making themselves different from others. So how can we do that? Let me show you. Where is our nav bar? This is our nav section basically. This is image fluid, and this is button that we don't need. We are going to use here nav bar, and here you can see that at home it is automatically class name as active, that we don't have written that class name. It is just because of React.js that we have used navlink and 2 instead of at the rate h or ef. So that's why it is automatically showing here active. And you can see that whenever we click on service, it is went from active here. Now it is in service. Let me show you. Now you can see that it is here now in service, and whenever I click on about, it is now in about. So we have to make some action on this active to show that which navbar is basically active at the time being. So how can we do that? At the very first thing, we have to move in our index.js, and here I have to type active, and here color as blue, Control S, and let me check is it working or not. Now you can see that it is working successfully. Whenever I click on home, it is looking here like blue color, and this is service page and color is different, and this is home page, this is contact page. And now you can see that the page which is active at the time being is showing different current from different color from others. So I hope you understood till now. So now we have to create our service page and contact page as well. Now let's design our service page. So here I am going to take container, and you can see that it is automatically imported from React Bootstrap. Here I am going to write fluid, and inside that fluid I have to write div, and this div class name as row, and here we have to type column. Basically the column would be of 12 columns. Okay, class name column 12, and here we have to write h4 I'm just going to write h3 our service, and here I am going to write style text align as center. Press Ctrl S and let's see what is the output. We are going to design service page, and now you can see that it is successfully at center. And I gonna take some margin from top, margin top as 20 pixel, and now we have to take some calls here. So for these calls we have to move in our React Bootstrap, and here we have to copy that code, and you can see that we are going to use this code. So we copy that code and paste it in our service. Here I am going to take again another div of class. Let me close the first div as well. Div, and here I have to write class name row, and inside this row I have to take some columns. Class name column medium device 3, and for other devices it would be 12, and here I am going to paste all that code. Control V, basically we have to use this import at the top. Control V, and now we don't need to use here function because we have used at the top. Export default, we also don't need to write that code. Control S, and let's see what is the output. Now you can see that this code is looking awesome. And what if we have to use multiple calls here? In our HTML and CSS code, we had to copy that code and we had to copy paste again and again until our need. So here in React.js it is not like same. So we have to use here map arrow function by creating a array. So how can we do that? So first of all, let me tell you that how basically I am going to tell you that how it would be in our HTML and CSS. Control C and paste it. Control S, and this could be in case of our HTML and CSS, and you can see that it is responsive as well. Basically it is not completely a center. We have not written here as text align as center. So now in React.js we don't need to use that code again and again. We have to use it as reusable. Just press Ctrl Z to remove all that code we have done. Let me check how many calls are remaining. Control B, and now I am basically going to use that code separately. This is just for structure of code. Course.jsx, and here I am going to use that code. I have to export it at the bottom. Export default course, and here we have to write all the code. In service we have basically this code of code, so we have to crop that code from here, Control X, and copy that code and paste it here, Control V, and it is saying that code is unknown for it, so we have to copy that code, Control X, and we have to use it here as we are going to import from that page, and we are using these things here, Control S, and let me import that code here. Import codes from .codes, and here I am going to use that code, codes. Oh, I have to use here self-closing tag, Control S, and now you can see that it is looking awesome and it is still working. So here we have basically title of that code, and we have some text, and we have a button and name of button. So we want to change all that code because every code have different code title and different text description as well as different button. So I have already done that code, that we pass props here, not props here, but I am just writing title is equal to, and here I have to write the name of that title. Basically I am going to write title as I have some titles here I have already added, so let me see what the titles I have added. Core data, and these are basically image sources and titles, first image, second image, third image. All these images are imported from our code of images, so we have to use these images here. So first of all, let me have an example. This is first code and image, so let me here use first code, and here I am going to take image is equal to, and here I have to take an image, import img1 from images folder, and inside images folder I have to take that image, Control S, and here I have used I have to use that image here. We have to use curly braces because this is the part of JavaScript. Control S, and we have changed image source and title, but we have not used here. So this was image source and this is title, and the rest of the code I am going to make same at the time being. So this is called data and this is course basically. Here I am going to write the very first thing that I have to do, pass here props, and here I have to write curly braces props dot imgsrc, and here in title, where is the title basically? This was basically the title, not the image source. Title, let me check if the title is same. No, this is all small letters, and here I have to use props dot imgsrc control S, and now you can see that here car title and image source both are changed successfully. So we don't gonna pass these values again and again. So we have already created an array of that code and we are going to use that array here. So here I have to remove that code, Control X, and I am going to use map array CARDS chord data dot map, and here inside that map I have to use fat arrow function, and we have to pass any value, and here I am going to paste all the code. This is basically our div, class name as column medium device 3 and column for all the remaining devices is 12, and here I have to type image source not as 1. Here we have to write image source as image source imgsrc, and here you have to write sorry, this is not basically the full path. Val dot image source. What is basically val? I had already told you that the map array function basically have 3 values by default. The first value is basically showing to the array, and the second value is index, and the third value is the name of array, core data, and here I have to use curly braces as well, val dot title. Let me see what are the spellings basically. These are same. So we should basically write all that code inside curly braces. Control V, and now Control S. Let me show you. Core data is not defined, val is not defined. This val is same as we have passed it, but why is it showing So this is spelling mistake. Control S, core data is not defined, and here I have to write small letter. And the most important thing that I have to do, import core data from core data, control S, and it is not showing anything. What is the problem with it now? Let me see. Image source is equal to val dot image source. We have used fat arrow function but not used return here. Control X, return, control V, and now press control S, and now you can see that it is looking awesome. And still these peaks are some peaks are smaller and some peaks are greater. This is not making a good sense. So now I have to set all these images at the same size. So inside chords we have to move inside image source, and here I am going to write style width as 100% and the height is 200 pixel. Control S, and let me see. Now you can see that all the images are now set at the same position, but there is still an error. Basically this is not an error but just styling, that we have no gap between upper and lower chord. So how can we make the chords? Here let me make margin top as 10 pixel, or we can have 15 pixel. Control S, and now you can see that we have some gap, but this is not a good gap. We are giving 20 pixel. $25. Now it is looking awesome. Let me check for the mobile devices. For the mobile devices you can see that the chord is basically at one side, so we should have to set it at the center. How can we do that? At our service we can here write as mx auto. Control S, and now let me see, and now inside this desktop screen you can see this is successfully at center. And let me check in mobile devices. For mobile devices it is almost at center now, and you can see that at one side we have cursor and at the other side we have a gap. So if you don't see it at center, you can have margin at mobile devices, margin left. And here if you notice that it is showing an error, so this is not basically an error. You can see that I should have a unique key props, and all these values are showing here, and I will tell you what was basically the error. This is not the error, but this is just a warning of React.js, and I will tell you what was basically the that error and how can we resolve it. This is not error, this is just for our more experience about our this website or any React application. So I will tell you in the later part of this course. So for the time being, just focus on building that project. So now you can see that we have done basically 3 React components, 3 pages of this website. This one is the first page, this is the second page, and this one is the third page. And the one page is remaining, which is known as contact page. So let me move in our tables, and inside these tables, not tables, but we have to move in forms, form control, form text, and form control. I think I have no internet now, so I gonna import this form. Here I have to just type contact us h3 contact us. Sorry, one mistake I have done, that I have not used grading system. Container, and here I have to write fluid. Inside fluid I have a div, and this div class name is as row, and here we have further a div, and this div class name is column 12, and here I am just going to write h3 contact us, and here I am going to make its internal CSS, text align center, Control S, and let us move. Now you can see that we are in our contact page, and we have to take margin top, margin top as 20 pixel, Control S, and now we have to take another row, class name as row, and inside this row we have basically column, and this column is column medium device as 8, and here I am just going to make MX auto, and inside this I have to paste all the code, and I have to remove that function and import it, Control X. I gonna import that line here. I have also to delete that code. and export default as well. Control S, and let me show you the output. This is not at center. Mmax auto, I have written Mmax auto, but it is not going to be at center. I'm just going to take two columns here. It is not written correctly. Here class name as column medium device 2, and same thing at the bottom. Control C, and here I am going to paste that code. Control V. Now you can see that it is a center, but we don't need to write only email and text area. We have to write here full name, mail, phone, address, etc. So let me create all that. Enter your email. I'm just going to copy that code. Control C and pasting it here. Control V. Control S, and let me check. 1 2 3 4 5. These are 5 outputs. Control S, and here I am going to write enter full name, and here I have to write text, and here I am just going to write here email address, and for the third part I am just going to write phone number. Enter phone number, and here I am just writing as number. Here I have to type address, home address, and at this field I have to type text, and text area this is same. Now one thing that we have to write in every text area, that we have name, value, and there will be a function that would happen, that would be called whenever any change happen in that field. So how can we do that? We have to select here form label, not form label, form control. Let me create it before this placeholder. Name is equal to, here I will write name, value, and this value will be, and there is another thing that we have on change. There is basically a function. We are just writing here input event, input event. This input event function would be called when any change happens in our in our text area. So Control D, I have to type another thing as well. Data dot, this is automatically came, data dot. For the time being we have to stop. So here at the top we have to take a useState, const data, set data, and this data is equal to useState, and inside this useState we have all the values, like we have full name, and here I have to write empty. Full name is empty. Is it same? Name, here I have to write the name, full name. Email, and here phone, address, and the last one I will do that later. So we have to take it as small letter, Control D. We can take as capital letter, but it should be small letter, as we have, it should be same as we have in useState. So full name is equal to empty, and here after full name we have to type here what is the second thing, email. What are the spellings? Email is equal to empty, and here after email we have to type phone, and this should also be empty. Again we have here comma, and here we have to type address, and after address we have why is it showing the error? There is multiple values, so we should write all of these values as single object, because React would understand it as single object, so we would have to pass here curly braces. And one thing that we have to write, data dot full name, and here data dot email, and here I am going to write phone, and here address, Control C, and in this text area I am going to paste it. form dot control v. Here I have to write message, enter your message, and here I have written MSG here as well, and at the top I have to write it same MSG controllers. And what is happened, basically we have passed all these values to data, and these are basically initial values. We have to write here semicolon, and now what we have to do, we have to write basically a function. What function? The function that we have called here when it is basically unchanged. So this function is input event. So I have to write here input event const input event is equal to curly braces, and here again fat arrow. And now inside this function, what we have to do, we have simply write const, and here we have to give curly braces name and value. We are taking two variables here, and is equal to target event dot target. Here we have to pass some value so that we may follow this. Whenever we pass any parameter here, I am just going to pass here event spelling mistake event. We have passed here event, and whenever there will be anything on change, this event would point to that point. Event dot target const name and value is equal to event dot target. Now we have, whenever any change happens or any text area, we would receive that text area's name and value as well. So what we have to do, whenever basically this function is called, there would be another thing happen at the time being. We have to write set data, because data will be set automatically when there is any change happening in text area. So I can pass any value as well. Pre-value, that what was basically the previous value here, it is just mentioning to that pre-val is equal to set data pre-val, and here we have to write return. It will return something. What would it return now? Here we have to use curly braces as well. Dot pre-val, and I have already told you that what do we here dot mean. Three dots mean that we are basically copying all the previous values here. It would return all the previous values, and name, we have to write in braces, name is equal to value. There is a problem in this function, so let me see that problem. Event.target, okay, const name value is equal to, this function should be in parentheses, that's why we have written here. So Control S, here we have to write another function. Now we have got all the values and all the updated values as well. Whenever input event function is called, it would update all the values. So here we have to take another function. This function is, one second, let me call that function, and later I should have to create on submit. And here I am taking a function submit. I'm just writing that name, submit. And at the top I have to call that to create that function. I'm just going to create it here, const. It should be as well as fat arrow function. What was the name basically? Submit, SUBMITT, because we don't have any database at this time, so that's why we are going to display it. We are going to display all the data here. So here I have to write alert, and inside this alert we have to write my name is, it should be in backticks. My name it is not pressing, name is, and here I have to write my name. So by the way, what does this backticks mean? These backticks allows us to use multiple elements at the same time, and we can also use expressions as well, such expressions which can make some decisions. We can use them. Here I have to write data dot full name, and here again give comma, and here type my phone is, dollar sign, curly braces, data dot phone, and again here type my phone number, my email is dollar sign, data dot email, and here I have to type my address is, here I have to give here address, data dot address, my message is data.msg message, and we have to write here semicolon, control S, submit not defined. This S should be capital, control S, we have to also type placeholders different, full name, here I can type full name, here email and phone number, your phone number, and here address, address, oh, what happened, control Z, control S, and let me again move. No, we have to type here as engineer Samuel. Here I am going to take email, here I am going to take dummy phone, and it is not writing anything. Let me check it. This is web app tutorial, and here it is not writing anything. I think there is a mistake. So I don't have here button as well, so I have to write the button. Control S, and let me check what was the error basically with address. Type address name. There was nothing different, but why it was not working? Let me see it. So what is the error basically here? It is not working. Why it is not working? And you can see that here it is showing all the data, but there is one mistake, that our home address is not working. Let me see what is the error. And now you can see that we have completed our website. This is our button, and I am going to use this button here as well to show a good look here. What was the page basically? Service, not service. Inside common we have this button. Control C, and here I am going to paste that button. Control V, submit, and I have to also import that button here, otherwise it will give here an error. Control C, Control V. It is not basically came. Let me copy it again. Control C, and here I am going to paste it. Control V, press Control S, and no, it is looking awesome, but still an error. It is not working. So now let me see what is basically the problem with our address text field. Type text and name is equal to address, and value is equal to data dot address. I think there is a spelling mistake. address, no spellings are same. Let me give here further a D, and here I am also going to give here a D so that it may match with name. Control S, and now you can see that it is enterable now. Let me create a hurry text. This is web dev. No, button is not working. Let me check what is the problem with that button now. Type submit, I have missed here. Type is equal to submit. Control S. No, it is finally done after all the errors. And now you can see that it is showing everything here that we have entered. This is our home page, and this is our service about page and contact, and everything is responsive. Let me show you. This is our landing page, and if we went about service, this is our service, and this is about page, and we have not given here a link on that button, otherwise it would move to that link. So this is contact, and you can see that everything is responsive in this web application. So this was all the project, and I tried to cover everything that could be possible in this tutorial to go through that we have seen since our first tutorial to our this last tutorial. But one thing that I have to tell you in our next tutorial is that what is basically that error and how can we resolve it, and how can this React developers tool would help us to experience all the backend and more knowledge about developers knowledge about this project. So this was all about today, and I hope you understood it.